Alan was now obligated to treat his crew to a night out at a strip club.
Range Wilson.
Among the most intriguing of the online poker pros who traveled to Las Vegas for the World Series of Poker was a group of friends who called themselves the Ship It Holla Ballas. That name was based on the common poker practice of saying ship it whenever you win a big pot. The Ship It Holla Ballas were remarkably young, immensely talented, and completely dedicated to the idea of conspicuous consumption. One morning, I got word that a few of the Ballas were stuck at their rented house. Their host, whose screen name was Good to See You, had just totaled his brand new $50,000 car. I offered to give them a ride, even though I was more than a little skeptical about these young guns. I was also unsure how they would react to me, since I was twice their average age. But as it turned out, we got along fabulously. The Ballas entered a whole bunch of World Series of Poker events, but nobody made a deep run until TheUsher, whose real name was Alan, final tabled the $5,000 pot limit hold'em event. The next afternoon, he would sit down at the final table as the chip leader. The Ballas wanted to make it a memorable experience, and they asked me to join them in cheering on Alan. I was more than happy to accept their invitation. Once the final table started, Alan played excellent poker. He was also lucky enough to pick up some strong hands and kept his position as chip leader for most of the final table. As his opponents kept busting out, our cheering section got rowdier and rowdier. Our cries of "Ship It" could be heard throughout the entire cavernous playing hall. Finally, Alan got down to heads up, just one player away from a coveted World Series of Poker bracelet. His opponent was a seasoned pro named Jason Lester, who was not about to roll over, no matter how rowdy Alan's cheering section got. The two players sparred back and forth for a while, then a big pot developed. In the stands, our read on Lester was that he had a strong hand, but Alan shoved all in anyway. It did not look like Lester was about to fold, so we could only hope that Alan had an even stronger hand. As it turned out, Lester called Alan's shove. When they flipped over their cards, we got the bad news. Alan had been semi-bluffing with nothing better than an inside straight draw. We all cheered for a miracle card, but it did not show up. Alan had finished second, one heartbreaking spot away from a World Series of Poker bracelet. But he got a very nice consolation prize in the form of $280,000. As a Ship It Holla Balla, Alan was now obligated to treat his crew to a night out at a strip club. I have never been a fan of conspicuous consumption, so I debated whether or not to join them. Finally, I decided to seize the day. I headed over to the Spearmint Rhino with the rest of the crew. As it turned out, the tab for the night came to over $40,000. Looking back on it, it seems completely ridiculous to spend that amount of money in one night. But at the time, the Ship It Holla Ballas felt like the sky was the limit. If that feeling turned out to be incorrect, they were still going to live large while they could. Alan ended up finding a financial backer and spent the next year traveling the world playing poker at luxury resorts. As for the rest of the Ship It Holla Ballas, there was an entire book written about them. I have included a link in the description below. Tune in next time to find out what happened when I got blackout drunk at a strip club. Until then, regular viewers, please like, comment, and/or share. New viewers, please click the icon to subscribe, the playlist to catch up on my life videos, or watch a video that YouTube has picked for you personally. My name is Range Wilson, and I'll see you next time.